Hello and welcome back to Citizen Speak. My name is Garrett Martin. Thank you so much for listening today. So, over the weekend, on Easter weekend, we had a very tragic event. A veteran had walked 9 miles to a VA hospital in Egg Harbor Township, New Jersey. His name was Charles Ingram III, or Rich as he liked to be called. Again, this is extremely tragic. Um, like I had said, he walked 9 miles from his house to the clinic. The entire time he was carrying a can of gasoline. He walked to the curb of the Veterans Hospital, and then he poured gasoline on himself, and then he self-immolated. There was a bystander that had come to his aid and tried to put him out with a blanket. However, it wasn't up until 3 minutes later that the police and fire department arrived to help put him out and give him aid. The police chief at the time said that the man was 100% burned across his body. He was airlifted to a hospital and he had died shortly after. So, like I said, a bystander came by, and 3 minutes later, the police came over and firefighters. But this guy walked 9 miles from his house to the VA, and there aren't a whole lot of deaths right now, and there's not a whole lot of information right now on his death. But with all of the cameras and people going in and out of the VA, it seems like somebody would have said something to him, asked him if he needed any help, or asked him if he needed a ride, or engaged him in some manner. If that would have happened, perhaps maybe this wouldn't have happened. But this leads me to an even larger point, is that every day on average, there's 22 veterans that commit suicide. And, there's an array of things that happen in their life, and some people will tell you, well, it's not because of their service that's the reason why they had committed suicide. Veterans have a lot more on their plate than a lot of people ever could fathom. We go to war, we see things that other people have never seen or even heard about. We do things that most people can't even fathom. So there's a lot more on our plates. So when things happen, when issues arise or problems occur, sometimes it can hit really hard. And even at the VA, I'm going to speak personally here. At the VA, I've had doctors tell me just to suck it up. Tell me that this is normal. This is what happens. And don't worry about it. There's so many other veterans who get told this as well. And then they think, oh, well, nobody cares about me. Nothing is going to get done about this, and I'm the only person who can deal with it. So I'm going to deal with it, and the only option that I really have left now that they see. I've been there. I've almost committed suicide myself. And, it's hard. There's a lot of doors that you see are closed, and really that they're slightly ajar. So, if you're a veteran and you're listening to this, there's help out there. You can even message me if you need help, but there's such poor care at the VA that when veterans go to get help, oftentimes they don't get help, or they say what's going wrong and the doctors just don't listen. It's happened to me many of times. And I know that, I'm a younger guy, especially when I started going to the VA at about 24, 25 years old. I get it, they go, oh, well, he's faking it. He doesn't have anything wrong with him. He's fine. Just send him around to the different buildings on the campus. He'll get frustrated and leave. Nobody has to deal with him. Except for the veteran. The veteran has to deal with himself. And oftentimes the doctors and the nurses who work at the VA create such an atmosphere that many vets dread going to the VA because they know that they're just going to get jerked around. They know that what happens at the VA is absurd, and it wouldn't happen at a regular hospital. You know, if you call up, if you're a veteran and you call up for an appointment and you need help very quickly, like within the next week or two, let's say you simply ran out of your medication, you need to see your doctor to get more. Oh, well, it'll be another month or it'll be another 2 months until your doctor can see you. When there's appointments that are open within the next week or so, they don't give you that option. They just say, oh, no. You can come in a couple weeks. You can come in a month when there's not many appointments. So that way, as one of the workers, they don't have to do nearly as much work. They probably don't have to see you or deal with you that day because there's other patients who are already there, and they want to keep their load light. That's really what it boils down to. And then that makes the vets go into a spiral. Well, I can't get care. Nobody cares for me. Nobody worries about me. So, I'm just left with this. I'm just left with suicide. We have 22 veterans a day that take their lives. Now, many of them are age 50 and up, but 22 veterans a day take their own life. And it's absolutely absurd that this keeps going on, that we have a VA that gives poor care, that turns veterans away, that tells us that, oh, yeah, you're important, but you're not important enough for us to see you right away. So while not every vet, like I said earlier, takes their life from direct connection to their time in service, we do have a lot more on our shoulders. So when problems come up or some major event happens, vets sometimes take it a lot harder than other people. And this isn't to discredit people who are of different backgrounds who haven't been in the service. It's just vets have been in wars. They've seen things and they've done things that most people can't even imagine. And many vets are given this 1950s mentality of just to suck it up. We live in 2016 where we understand that PTSD is a major issue, and many vets are affected by it. We understand that when you have problems, you need to get care, and you need to get care now. But the VA is really worthless. There's a lot of people who want the VA to be privatized, and by no means should we ever privatize the VA, because what will happen is that the vets will get just as bad of care, but now there'll be new options for them to have to pay more or have to do extra things that they normally wouldn't have. Okay, so we have the Choice Care Network with the VA. And if you want to see a doctor outside of the VA, you enroll in the Choice Care Network. Well, I have complications with fertility because of my time in service. And I tried to enroll in the Choice Care Network. Oh, congratulations, you're enrolled in the Choice Care Network. Do you want to see a doctor? Yeah? Well, too bad, you're not going to. That's exactly what's happened to me. I needed to see a urologist outside of the VA for care with fertility complications that I have. So I contact the Choice Care Network, I get enrolled, and they say, okay, well, give us a week or two to find a doctor for you, and we'll go from there. Okay, so a week goes by, don't hear anything back. 2 weeks go by, didn't hear anything back. And the third week, I contact the Choice Care Network, and they say, oh, well, what did you need again? We don't see anything in your file. We just see that you're enrolled. Okay, so that's great. The person who I was talking to didn't write anything down at all about what I actually needed. It just enrolled me. So they say, okay, well, give us another couple weeks. We'll find a urologist for you. And we'll go from there. Another couple weeks go by, no answer. Call on the third week. Oh, can you go over to Detroit on one of your work days? No, I can't go over to Detroit on one of my work days because I work. I have to supply for my family. I have to provide. And they say, well, that's the only time that is available. Well, we need to make something else work then. I gave them a couple of days that would work for me, and nope, they wouldn't work with me at all, the Choice Care Network. And then so I said, why is it that I have to go to Detroit? There's plenty of urologists around in my area. Could I go to them? So they say, no, you have to go to one that's in our network. Okay, well, how do I know if somebody's in your network? Oh, well, call them. That's not my job. That's not my job to do your job. Your job is to find me a doctor that's within a reasonable radius of where I live at, not 3-4 hours away. So then it's now on me to find a doctor, not the Choice Care Network. That's their whole job at the start, is to find you a doctor in your area to go to that accepts the Choice Care Network's services. So, okay, I found a doctor in my area that accepts the Choice Care Network. And I called the Choice Care Network and I say, okay, well, I found a doctor, but I need you guys to set everything up to make sure that I don't have to pay anything out of my pocket, because I can't. I work for a living, and, I work very hard, but, I have bills as well to pay. I can't pay on top of not having insurance outside of the VA to some urologist who's going to charge me an arm and a leg. That's what the Choice Care Network's for. They're there to pay for me outside of the VA. So they said, no, just go to the urologist first, and if you get a bill, then take care of it and we'll reimburse you. Negative. A vet should not have to pay for services related to his service connection disability at a doctor outside of the VA when he's going through the Choice Care Network. So guess what happened? I didn't go see this urologist because I don't have money to pay for the urologist up front. So when you hear people say that they want to make the VA private, that's exactly what's going to happen. You're going to have a lot of vets who get told that they have to pay up front, and they don't have the money for it. And who knows how long it would take the Choice Care Network to reimburse me, or even to pay the bill, or even if they pay 100% of the bill. So I'm supposed to trust somebody to set up a program that will pay 100% for this service-connected disability? No, absolutely not. So now I'm faced with being infertile for the rest of my life. And I'll never know if there's an option or not. Now, I'm in the process of getting insurance for myself outside of the VA, so that way I could go to something like this and only have to pay a small amount, because the Choice Care Network is just going to jerk me around. And honestly, it sounds like they'll never pay. So you have vets who are faced with even that issue. Not just in the VA, but with programs that are set up to directly help veterans. If you work for the VA or you work for one of these programs, I'm talking to you right now. Do your job. I understand that you think that you might be doing your job, but your entire job is to help take care of veterans. Even if you're a janitor at the VA, your job is to take care of the vets. It's to clean the floors. It's to make everything sanitary. That's your job. But if a vet has questions, know just a little bit or who to refer them over to. Don't just go, I don't know. Help them find the answer. That's what vets really need, is they go into this building with very little navigation set up in the building itself. They walk around, they talk to different people, and everybody goes, oh, no, just go over to this building here. Go over to that building over there on the campus. And they don't get the help that they need. So if you work at the VA, you need to start doing your job. You need to start understanding that your job is to help vets. Your job isn't just to sit there behind a desk and hide behind your computer. If I come into your office and I got a question about where I need to go for my appointment, you either have an idea of what I'm talking about and where I need to go for that specific type of appointment, Like if I say I need to go to building 1 and I'm in building 37, you working at the VA should be able to direct me over there with simple, clear instructions because you know the area a lot better than I do. Or, if your whole job is to make appointments and I come up to you and try to make an appointment with you, make my appointment. Don't make me go home, call on the phone, and talk to you, and I have to be on wait for the next 15 minutes. For you to give me an appointment 2 months from now. And that's a direct example. That's actually happened to me. That's the type of care that vets get. We go there, we ask for help, and what are we given? The runaround. That's what we're given. So if you work for one of these programs, you need to start doing your job and you need to start helping vets. And if you want to bring down the number of suicides for vets every day from 22 even to 20, so we have 2 extra people live every day, start doing your job. Start understanding that we have needs and that we're faced with complications that are far greater than you can even conceive. Yeah, you might see it from time to time, and you might shed a tear once a year because, maybe somebody that you tried to help finally, after a whole year of not helping anybody, they committed suicide. So you kind of get it. No, you don't get it. Do your job and help us. We're literally asking for help. We're crying for help. And you're not listening. All right, we're going to wrap it up there. My name is Garrett Martin. Thank you so much for listening to Citizen Speak. You can find me on Twitter at CITZSpeak. Questions, comments, concerns, let me know. I'd love to hear from you. Again, you can find me on Twitter at CITZSpeak. Thank you so much for listening. Have a great day.